Do you ever get the feeling that perhaps our domestic life is a little too domesticated? Sometimes I fear the entire world has been tamed, that everything that was once wild is no longer so. The frontier is gone, the great vast wilderness has been reduced, the mighty rivers dammed and the tallest mountains scaled. Even the great brutes that once wandered our land have all been contained. The buffalo is now within the enclosures of the park system. The mighty bear, driven far back his canyon. The woodland caribou that once foraged in Maine are no longer there. It seems to me that the long arm of humanity has reached into every place that was once untouched, as if we've uncovered every secret. If you know how to find it, there's more than likely a trail that leads to everything. We've conquered the wilderness. We've built a road to its heart. We've turned its secret places into viewing platforms for the tourist. One day, I believe we will vanquish everything that is wild, and the boundaries of our synthetic kingdom will have no end. But sometimes I have to ask myself whether or not this is a good thing, whether or not our tireless expansion has had some very unintended side effects upon us. Now, don't get me wrong, I live just as comfortably as you do, but there are moments in my life when I see my comforts as a handicap. Moments when I nearly disdain these modern luxuries, for I despise the way they cause me to stagnate. I despise the way they woo me into apathy and sluggishness. In the 1840s, Henry David Thoreau wrote that our village life would stagnate if it were not for the unexplored forest and meadows which surround it. He wrote that we need the tonic of wildness. There are moments in my existence when the inevitable cares of life drive my heart into the backcountry. Moments when my soul heads for the deep cover of wildness. Funny thing is, more often than not, the rest of me often languishes for days and weeks before I realize that my heart has gone missing. Then one day it hits me. I realize that I once more need the tonic of wildness. I need the invigoration that can only be found somewhere, way out past the glow of the last street lamp. Beyond the reach of cell phone signals, beyond the drone of traffic, beyond the comforts of my own luxurious dwellings, beyond the familiarity of my favorite possessions. I need to be out where the wild things are, and so I go searching. Sometimes I don't know what I'm searching for until I find it, but I always recognize it when I lay hold of it, that mysterious piece of a man's soul that can only be found in the wild places. If you ask me to explain why I camp, why I hike, why I'm drawn to wild and lonely places, I suppose I couldn't give you an answer. I could probably stumble through some vague answer, but the short answer is simply this: I just need to. The anthropologist might say it's because of some distant connection to the land, and the religionist would rightly say it's a good place to find God. The naturalist, of course, would speak of his love for the natural world, but me? Well, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just out here because I know there's something about all of this that makes me more aware, something that makes me more alert. There's a desolate kind of comfort out here that I cannot find anywhere else, a barrenness that speaks to my heart and brings me back to what I know is real. So as long as the world stands, I pray there will always be wild places and men who go in search of them. For something tells me that in these wild places, there will always be hearts like mine, waiting to be reunited with the weary bodies they've long since vacated. But as for me, I'll go on in search of that small piece of me, which can only be found in these wild places.